So women have already been experiencing combat to some degree in Iraq and Afghanistan. So what difference does this announcement make?
Well, over the last 10 years, women have served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Over 140 have died, and tens of thousands have come back with wounds of war. This announcement is huge. It's historic because many of those women have not been recognized for their combat duty. They've had trouble getting VA benefits. They've had trouble accessing awards. In many cases, they just simply can't progress in their careers because combat exclusion policy has prevented them from being assigned to a whole variety of units that would have helped their careers progress further.
Well, that's one of the things people have been saying is that, there's only one female four-star general right now. And so some people say that it is hard to advance in the military if you can't officially serve in combat.
Absolutely. There have only been 2 four-star women generals in the entire history of the U.S. military, and so there's an enormous brass ceiling in terms of women's advancement in all of the branches, but it's been particularly difficult in the Army and the Marine Corps, where about 1/3 of positions are off limits to women. And so this means that not only can women be infantry or special operators or in armored units, but they also can't be assigned at the staff level jobs in many of these units. So regardless of what your military occupational specialty is, this policy has had an overwhelmingly detrimental effect on women's careers.
Now, you're a former Marine. What does this decision mean to you? I mean, were there positions you wanted you couldn't go after?
Absolutely. I got out of the Marine Corps after 5 years of really trying to push the envelope and access assignments and jobs that simply weren't available for me. I got out because of combat exclusion and also the sexual harassment that comes hand in hand with that policy. You're simply not treated the same with a policy like this, which legalizes discrimination. And not only do we need to lift the policy, which is a great sign of good things to come, but we also need to ensure that more women are recruited into the military. We need more women to change the culture.
Now, it's unclear what the Pentagon is going to decide, but do you think that there should be the same physical standards for women serving in these combat roles as they have for men?
Absolutely. We are arguing for a single standard in terms of physical fitness tests. It's something that doesn't exist today, and it's a huge problem. We need to tell our service members that there is a single standard for all of the branches. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female. And with regard to some of these combat arms assignments, there need to be sort of job-specific standards. Most of them need to be reevaluated, but there needs to be a single standard for each job. We're not arguing for any special treatment for women. We're actually arguing for the same treatment for women.
And so, with this decision, it's a big one, but what else is left in the military? What other things do you think need to be changed to make women and men equal?
Well, lifting combat exclusion it's always been the first step in terms of making sure there's a level playing field and actual enforcement of equal opportunity. This is, I think, directly going to impact military culture in a positive way. You're going to see commanders actually enforcing a single standard. And when we talk about Marines being Marines instead of female Marines and male Marines, this is the beginning of that. There's a lot left to be done in terms of enforcement of sexual harassment and assault policies. Sexual assault right now disproportionately affects women in the military, and it's a very serious problem. And we're continuing to work on that using both Congress, the courts, as well as working with military leadership to make sure they know how to fix this problem.
And of course, this will take a few years to go into place. They're saying, that they're going to take up until 2016 to put it in place because of, practical things like separate bathrooms for men and women. I mean, do you think that's a good timeline for it?
This recommendation has come directly from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It's why it's so significant for us, because it didn't come from the outside. It really came from military commanders themselves, which gives us a lot of hope. I think that there are no logical reasons to keep women from competing for any assignment in the military, to include infantry, armor, and special operations positions. There's simply no logical reason.
Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.